Hi guys, today I'm making what someone once taught me a long time ago was called covered dish. This is basically a 3-layer ground beef casserole. What you're going to do, get your stuff together, is get some carrots. I'm going to use probably around 4 of them. I got 2 good sized bacon potatoes, 3 pounds of ground beef, and 2 cans of tomato soup. Get yourself a nice deep dish casserole dish. This is one of those old Princess House dishes. Let's start prepping up our vegetables and we'll be right back. So now before we start, I'm just going to let you know this dish does take 3 hours to cook. It's cooked at 350 for 3 hours. So right now we're just going to peel our vegetables, get these all prepped up. Put those in there for now. So just peel your carrots. If you don't know how to peel a carrot, I don't know what to tell you. Watch your fingernails. I have some funky fingernails going on here. I really should cut that one fingernail, but I told my youngest daughter, we'll see how long that one lasts. I don't do fake fingernails. I don't get my fingernails done. Ain't nobody got time for that stuff. Now also, as I'm peeling my vegetables here, I will tell you, my oldest daughter, who now lives on her own, has been asking me to make my beef stew. That video will come shortly. However, my husband wants me to make covered dish. So, to kill 2 birds with 1 stone, I will show my daughter how to make this if her other grandmother hasn't taught her how to make this yet. This is where I got this recipe from. It's really good. It actually does taste like a beef stew. This is nice to make on a nice chilly day if you have time to do it. Of course, I have time to do it. I'm at home all day, so just taking a break in between cleaning just to start and prep this. That way I can have it all prepped, ready to go. Stuff it in the refrigerator until it's time to throw in the oven. Okay, those are all peeled. Let me just rinse off my potatoes. Okay, potatoes are all peeled and rinsed. Now, you can use a mandolin, or you can just use a sharp knife, and you just want to cut your potatoes to about 1/4 inch. Not too thick though, because this dish is going to be cooked low and slow, kind of, so you don't want mushy potatoes in the end, but you do want your potatoes to stay together. So it's okay to get sizes like that. Rough chop. It does not have to be fancy at all. Watch your fingernails if you have them. Watch your fingers. I do have a mandolin, but I just don't want to dig it out. Those are sliced. Throw those in a bowl. As you're prepping the carrots and cutting them up, soak these in water. Those will prevent the potatoes from getting brown. So I'm going to show you how thick to slice the carrot, and then I won't bore you with the rest of the other prep. Quick chop of your carrot. If you have a mandolin, use that. Whatever way you prefer to slice. Again, these don't have to be perfectly symmetrical. You're just chopping them up about yay thick. One for me. So, throw those in another bowl. So, I'm going to finish cutting up my vegetables and we'll be back. Okay, so to recap, for our covered dish or 3-layer ground beef casserole, this is approximately 3 pounds of ground beef, or other known as hamburger where I come from. Throw in your casserole dish. If you don't have a deep dish, casserole dish like this, Dutch oven works perfectly fine. Break up your hamburger a little bit. This is actually a little bit too big, so what I'm going to do is probably take out about a 1/2 pound. Anyway, you want at least a couple inches worth of ground beef. Eyeball it. This is how I cook. A lot of eyeballing going on. Open up a can of tomato soup. Pour some in. If you want to salt up your ground beef now, you can. I usually don't. So put a layer of tomato soup over your ground beef. Take your carrots, put a layer of carrots. If you want to add more carrots, go for it. 4 carrots seem to do just fine. So we're just going to sprinkle some salt on here real quick. Sprinkle a little bit of salt. I like to add tomato soup, not too much, just enough over each layer. You don't have to be precise with this recipe. That's why it's easy to make. Potatoes have been soaking in clear water. Run it under the sink, rinse it out, get all the starch out. Your potatoes, shake out your excess water, and all you are is layering the top. Again, does not have to be perfect. If you want to take the time to do it perfectly, go for it. This is kind of like a shepherd's pie. But again, this tastes to me like a beef stew. That looks pretty good. So now, I'm munching on a potato. I like raw potatoes. So you can grab a little more salt. If you can't have salt in your diet, don't put it in. You can add some pepper if you'd like. Although this dish really doesn't need the extra seasoning. The tomato soup actually flavors it quite nicely. So the last step you're going to be doing is cover the whole thing with a layer of the tomato soup. I like to cover all the potatoes with the soup just so they don't burn. Just layer your soup over your potatoes. Okay, so once you cover your potatoes with the rest of the can of soup, take your cover, put it over the casserole dish. If you're using a Dutch oven, make sure you put the cover on it. If you don't have a cover for whatever casserole dish you're using, you can just use aluminum foil, throw it on. I like to put the casserole dish on a baking sheet simply because if there's any overflow spillage, the baking sheet prevents any spillage into the bottom of the oven. Now we're just going to pop this in the oven at 350 for 3 hours and we'll be back to take a look. See you in a bit. Okay, so I just took this out of the oven and it's really, really hot. So what you're going to do now is take your cover off. And if your cover sticks, depending on what cover you're using, just grab a knife. Take that off and just let that rest for about 5 minutes or so, just so everything just mingles back together. And we'll be right back. So this is still really, really hot. But after waiting 5 minutes, you can scoop it out. As you can see, everything's nice and fork tender, nice and delicious. A nice quick bite, real quick. I already know this is good. I made it plenty of times. And that, my friends, is how you make cover dish. Give this one a try. It's really good. Thanks so much for watching. See you later.